Feeling excessive fatigue in the arms and hands is a common complaint in the track riding world, particularly among less experienced riders. In this video, we're going to go over some of the reasons behind it and what you can do to start figuring out and easing your arm fatigue issues. Getting the feeling that the muscles in the arms are completely spent is not a nice place to be, chiefly because your ability to use the bike's controls is massively hampered. Simple things like squeezing the brake or even rolling on the throttle become more difficult and feel restricted. So why do your arms get tired? First, I want to make it clear that riding motorcycles on the track is never going to be effortless, and the continued use of your forearms and hands to operate the bike's controls is naturally going to mean you begin to work your muscles. In the heavy braking zones in particular, you expel a lot of energy to pull on the brake lever and support your body. Then only a few seconds later, you're pushing on the bars to steer the bike, and shortly after that, you're getting back to the throttle to engage the muscles again as you modulate it smoothly. So, your muscles are being used, but riders make the situation much worse by riding too stiff on the bike both in and out of the corners. A lot of the time that stiffness is unnecessary and can be avoided, but until you're aware of it and what's causing it, the issue can be difficult to rectify. With that, let's look at a few of the common problem areas. The first is poor lower body setup. If your lower body setup is poor and doesn't act as a good foundation for the whole body, it means you'll have a tendency to grip tighter onto the bars as you try to support yourself during cornering. Most commonly, this means you'll rely a bit too much on that inside arm to support your upper body. This is putting your arms under unnecessary strain and causes them to expel more energy and fatigue quicker. Next is generally riding tense. Now this one may be difficult for you to wrap your head around because if you're doing it, then you probably don't even know that you are. Some riders simply ride more tense than others. Now this can be because they're feeling nervous or uneasy, or another common reason is because they're trying to ride hard, which causes them to tighten up as they enter that aggressive state. Holding your breath can be another factor. Holding your breath for long periods of time is not going to help your muscles one iota. The muscles need oxygen during physical exertion, and if you're holding your breath, you're starving your muscles of that oxygen and you're going to fatigue quicker. What about your bike setup? Lever position is an important thing to have correctly set. Excessive wrist bend, for instance, is going to make it more difficult to operate your controls. You can also change your clip-on position to make yourself more comfortable and make it easier to steer the bike and once again use the controls. A good overall chassis setup can help too. If it feels more stable, then it means you won't be affected as much by negative feedback, and you'll be able to relax much more because the bike is giving you a good feeling. And finally, a simple lack of fitness. If improving any of the previous points doesn't alleviate the fatigue you're getting, it could just be that you aren't fit enough to do the job for an extended period of time. Like I said, riding bikes in this environment isn't easy, and working to create proper foundations with the lower body and core takes effort. If your lower body can't do that job, then you're going to once again find your support defaulting to your hands and arms, causing excessive fatigue. The key to fixing this is to try and notice it. If arm and hand fatigue is something that you feel towards the end of a session, to the point where your ability to use the controls is impaired, it will be a good idea to spend some time trying to figure out why. Spend a session riding at your normal pace, but rather than simply focusing on riding and pushing past your limits, focus on your own body and how you feel. Try to take notice of when your arms are being called into action. Is it just a result of simply using the controls as you should, or do you notice that you're tense when you don't need to be? Ideally, the muscles in the arms should be fairly relaxed most of the time, apart from when you're hard on the brakes where they're needed to really squeeze on the lever and support some of your upper body weight. They'll also be called into action to a greater degree in certain cornering situations, such as changing direction at high speed where steering is more difficult. Be conscious of when your arms are tense and you should be able to figure out why. It could really be as simple as just telling yourself to relax, but until you're aware of it, you're not going to be able to do that. And while you can't expect your muscles to be completely free from physical exertion and fatigue, if you feel that the fatigue is excessive, then it very likely is, and at the very least you should be able to try and reduce it. Do you have any stories or revelations of tiring arms and hands? Tell us about it in the comments down below, and as always, if you like the video then be sure to hit the button and subscribe to the channel for more performance riding advice and guides moving forward. Take care.